What are we about, a minute away maybe?
And they do, and then he called me back.
His
and he
clock's
said,
right.
well, they did it wrong. I said, you mean to tell me that? No, I said, I don't care how much it costs.
All right, good afternoon. I'd like to call to order this work session for August for the Carroll County Board of Education. We welcome everybody here. Really happy to have all our visitors here. This time, if you would join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we'll get right into this. We'll turn it over to Miss Jennifer Shirley for student achievement.
Good evening, Mr. Chair and board members. Tonight I'd like to give the board an additional achievement update. Since the last update in June, the Department of Education and the College Board have released some more results, and I have provided those results to you in eBoard this evening. I also want to share some highlights from all of the testing throughout the year. So first, from elementary school, this is the 9th consecutive year that elementary school has performed above the state in all subject areas. So 9 years in a row. The two others that were not were just one subject away, so elementary consistently performing well. In middle school, this year we were above the state in all areas. This is the first time since 2019 that that's happened in middle school. We also had two subject areas that were all-time records for Carroll County, and that is 6th grade math and 8th grade math for middle school. In high school, for G+, so remember that is graduation plus, this year we had 73% of our students graduate G+. That's up, last year was 70, so we increased that again to 73%. And also another record-breaking number coming out of some of our G+ efforts is we had over 90% of our seniors to graduate with a pathway completer. That would be advanced academics, advanced career, CTAE, fine arts, or learning language. So 90% of our kids graduated with one of those pathways upon graduation. Our next section of work is our AP results. So for the first time, all 5 high schools were recognized as AP Schools of Distinction. There were actually 13 of those awards given to schools in Carroll County schools. There were 1,143 exams. That is up 146 from the previous year. And even though we had 146 more tests taken, we still were able to increase our performance. And 68% of the students taking those college level classes earn college credit from their performance in the AP. This is actually up, I went back for 5 years to see what it has changed in 5 years. This number is actually up from 44 to 100 and, well, hold on, rewind for a second. We also had 176 students who were AP scholars, so that's national recognition, and that's the part where 5 years ago we only had 44. Now we have 176 students recognized nationally for their AP performance. Wow. So big changes happening in the AP performance. And then if you look at the dual enrollment and AP together, so for dual enrollment we had 606 students take dual enrollment classes. They took 3,143 classes of dual enrollment, so they got 3,000 college level courses that were taken. In AP, we had 1,118 students and 1,883 courses taken. You combine that together, we had 5,026 college level classes taken by our students in Carroll County schools last year. And those are record-breaking numbers of our students performing at that high performance. So lots to celebrate. And to add to that, I have 2 guests for tonight. One is Jeff Bryant, the principal at Bowden High School, and then Julia Chang, who's one of those AP Scholar students from Temple High School, to talk about that program. So, Mr. Bryant?
Good afternoon. I'd like to thank the board, Dr. Ainsworth and Ms. Shirley for asking me to speak this afternoon on the impact of 8th grade students taking 4 high school courses at Bowden High School. For the past 3 years, Bowden High School students each year have taken advantage of the opportunity to complete 4 advanced high school courses while still in 8th grade. This innovative practice is providing students with an opportunity to accelerate their academic progress while creating greater flexibility throughout their high school experience. Our first cohort of students is now 10th graders, and we're seeing the significant positive impact this opportunity is having, not only on the students participating in the program, but also their classmates and the overall academic environment at Bowden High School. Completing 4 graduation required courses in 8th grade allows students to continue on an advanced academic pathway while opening their schedules to explore courses in career, technology, and agricultural education, and fine arts throughout their high school careers. Bowden High School, like the other 4 grade high schools in the county, have students who want to experience and be challenged in academic, career, and extracurricular interests throughout their high school career. In the past, many of these students may have faced the challenge of choosing between advanced academic classes, CTE career interest, and participation in fine arts or athletics. This innovative approach will now allow our students to explore all of these areas without having to make those difficult decisions. This opportunity is not only impacting our advanced academic students, but also all students in those graduating classes. When students complete advanced high school coursework in 8th grade, this creates an opportunity to create more sections and reduce class sizes in standard 9th and 10th grade classes for us the last 2 years. Reduced class sizes also allow teachers to provide more personalized and targeted classroom instruction, build stronger relationships with students, provide immediate feedback, and address individual academic needs. This increased level of individualized attention creates an environment that can contribute to higher academic performance and greater student success across the classroom. We're also planning with our students for the opportunities this approach will create for them in the future. In the future, this approach allows our students to maximize dual enrollment offerings while saving parents money and giving students a great head start to their college careers. These students will not be required to take as many classes during the summer to maximize dual enrollment credit. This also allows these driven students to focus on career interest, employment, internships, and other meaningful experiences during the high school by expanding their potential career knowledge. Most importantly, the initiative is helping Bowden High School create a more well-rounded high school experience for our students. Students can pursue advanced academics while exploring career pathways, developing artistic talents, participating in athletics, engaging in work-based learning, and earning college credit. We're excited about the long-term impact that this opportunity will have on our students as our students graduate with a broader range of experiences, stronger academic preparation, greater career awareness, and a clear understanding of the opportunities available to them beyond high school. Thank you.
Thank you.
Julia?
Good evening. My name is Julia Chang, and I'm a senior at Temple High School. Today, I want to talk about the impact the Advanced Placement Program has had on me as a student. I am currently enrolled in 3 AP courses as well as dual enrollment. Before this year, I was able to take 4 other AP courses that prepare me to excel on their respective exams, earning college credits. Beyond the financial help this grants me by earning credits towards college, the rigor of these courses also helps me gain confidence for future collegiate level work I will encounter both this year as well as after I graduate. The AP program provided at my school allows me to pursue meticulous coursework similar to as it would be in college. This opportunity has put me in classes among students that follow the same path as I do. As a result, I can truly converse and work alongside people who have comparable goals as me, which has helped me decide what I want to academically pursue later in life. For example, due to my mathematics and science classes, I have determined engineering to be a major I could truly apply myself to and find joy in. However, since engineering is such an intense field, taking AP classes on top of all of my extracurriculars forces me to get used to the strenuous schedule that I will encounter in the coming years. Because of my experience in AP, my choice to pursue this goal is informed, and I can feel comfortable with my ability to succeed. Overall, the advanced placement offerings my high school aids immensely with college admissions and costs. But beyond that, these courses offer a resource that allows me to that allows me the advantage of quickly progressing and also developing my devotion to academics. As such, I would like to thank the Carroll County Board for presenting the students of Temple High School and other schools in our district with advanced opportunities every day. Thank you so much for letting me speak with you today.
Thank you. Any board member comments,
Could
questions?
I ask a question? Have you committed to any high-level institution? Not yet?
She wants to go to Georgia Tech, Dr. Brooks, or
Oh.
Georgia.
Oh, okay, all right. She's so smart, I felt like.
So when I noticed the 5,000 hours, credit hours, or courses, whatever, I looked and it takes 40 to 41 courses to graduate college. So if we looked at it this way, that is the equivalent of 125 degrees. I mean, so what a huge accomplishment for our students. And did you say that you already had 7 if you counted what you're taking now?
Wow.
Wow, you'll be almost a sophomore when you get wherever you're going. That's great. That's great. Jeff, we want to thank you too. I mean, if I hadn't already went to high school 40 years ago, I'd want to go back through with what you just said. I mean, it's just so amazing the opportunities that our kids have. And I appreciate, I think we all do, you telling the story, and because that's the key, is getting our story out there. So thank you for being here with us.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
Yesterday, we recognized a young man who had gone and taken his basics training, and this summer,
Right.
he will be a senior at Villarica High School, the little Fretwell boy.
Okay, I know a lot of frat whales, yeah.
Uh-huh, yeah.
That's awesome.
Uh-huh.
A lot of success stories, yeah. So, yeah.
One more thing, Mr. Chair, that I don't think that maybe everybody knows, but if you are free and reduced for those AP exams, we are paying for those exams. So a kid who sits in those classes who cannot afford the AP exam fee, we're also paying for those students as well.
What a great thing. Go ahead, Bart.
How much is that fee now?
They have a reduced, I think it's $53 that we pay for those students to take it.
So I have a couple questions and then a request. Would it be possible to get a breakdown by high school of the 176 of the 2026 people that did the AP Scholar student recognitions?
Absolutely.
Can I see where that fell out by cluster?
Good.
And then I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but I do have a question. And I know there's probably a bigger picture to this, and maybe y'all can help me understand. So we'll look at the graduation rates of 98, 95, 97%, but then I look down at the high school end of grade results, like in algebra, biology, and U.S. history, and they're down 41%, 43%, and 55%. So how do we go from those kind of scores to almost everybody graduating?
Ms. Shirley, you want to talk a little bit about absolutely, you're correct, Mr. Cater, and then Ms. Shirley, you put some things in place already acknowledging that those are some areas for improvement.
Yes, so we do know that those are some areas, and we are working on those areas to get better. So one of the things that we're doing is we have what we call 4 C's of instruction. That's where we're challenging kids in every class to have critical thinking opportunities, collaboration, communication, and creativity. So they're using what they know and they're creating things, and what we're hearing from the job force is that's what they need. They need those skills to do that. When you do that and you force kids to start thinking, then they think on a different level and they're able to do those things. Because right now, Mr. Cater, when we used to have tests, we had tests that were basic skills and you did a lot of skills. When you take Georgia Milestones, it is very much a thinking test. So you have to have the skills, but you have to have high level thinking and application to apply those skills. And so that's the area we need to work on. We know the skills, but it's the application piece. And so we're working on that. We started that on the PL day. We have planning sessions all 9 weeks for all 4 of those subjects in high school to try to improve those scores.
Well, I would agree with you because I don't remember a thing that I learned at Georgia Tech 30 years ago. But they did teach me how to think critically, and I think that's a huge thing that gets missed in
Yes.
today's society is to just regurgitating stuff, but being able to think critically. The other thing that I noticed in these numbers is that if you look at the students reading on grade level, like the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, or even the 3rd, 4th, or 5th grade, you know, there's about 25% that are not making it across the board roughly. But the other thing I noticed was all the way from 2019 till 2025 is pretty flat. And I know there's been some initiatives or something to, but I'd like to see that somehow or another.
Yes, absolutely, and that's an area we have seen a decrease during the pandemic and started with our younger students implementing certain literacy requirements, but then also in middle school as well as our high school end of course assessment. Ms. Shirley, you want to talk a little bit about what we're doing this year regarding literacy and continuing those efforts?
So one of the things is literacy is not just in that ELA classroom. We're having literacy in science and social studies in every area. We're doing vocabulary, literacy, reading, writing across the curriculum to bring up, because once you get to where you can read the words, it becomes about a vocabulary and understanding what you read. So we're having an initiative to have that in every classroom. And then for our students that can't read, we're continuing to do the monitoring of phonics and the things like that, those pieces that they're missing all the way up through middle school to get those students reading. So we're working on it to get better, and I think you're going to see those numbers continue to increase. But it's one of those things that's not an easy thing to fix. It just takes time. So
It takes a lot of time.
yeah.
The only other comment that I'll make is that just from personal experience from a very close friend of mine, I don't have any clue as to how many children we have that are on IEPs in our system, you know, that are really behind. And some of those kids get labeled as that way. And next thing you know, they don't like school, they don't want to be in school, they quit school, or their parents take them out to homeschool them. And personally, I may be wrong, but it seems like to me maybe we are asking a little bit much of some of our teachers, of our severe kids that have IEPs, that have a lot of learning problems, to try to bring up, I don't know how many we put together with one teacher. I mean, what's the student to teacher ratio of those children?
And it would depend on if they're in a resource type classroom or co-taught or supportive instruction. And what we also did this year is put in literacy coaches. You know, they are taking, our instructional coaches are moving towards literacy coach model and equipping those teachers with best practices. What we do in a special ed resource classroom to teach literacy looks different than a traditional general ed type classroom, and there's differentiation in the specific strategies and programs that they're using. Ms. Shirley's been working with Ms. Lee Robinson, our special ed director, of what are we doing in those special ed classrooms, but then also how are we monitoring that's effective? And that's something Ms. Shirley's put in place this year, is monitoring the effectiveness of those programs to support the teachers.
And I would think too, also making sure that when you have those meetings with the IEP, with the parents and everything, that making sure we're getting buy-in from them, that they can help, because sometimes the parents don't do their part too.
Absolutely.
I do have the new coaches that are coming into the classroom, how are they assigned?
Yeah. Ms. Shirley, do you want to talk a little bit about the literacy coaches?
So each school, so the state is saying that each school should have a literacy coach. So we took our instructional coaches and they're going to be assigned to that same school. And then the state is going to provide the training to all of them about how do you coach literacy and how do you coach teachers and best practice. And the state's focus is K through 3, but we will continue K through 5 focus to help with literacy.
So how many of those coaches do we have system-wide?
One per school, so there's 12.
And then we're picking up some through the grant deal, we're getting like 6 or so additional.
So we have the EIP positions,
Yes,
which are
yeah.
helping with tutoring and extra support.
That's right, okay.
programs, yes.
Yeah. Good
So that
stuff.
should also help with the reading as well as getting those more small group, more intensive intervention for students that are struggling.
Good resource. Good stuff. Anything else? Again, we want to thank you all for this great report, and it's good to see us moving forward. And I'll turn it back over to you again, Ms. Shirley.
Okay. I also tonight have an MOU from West Georgia Technical College. Carroll County continues its longstanding partnership with West Georgia Technical College. This MOU provides required textbook at no cost to students, and Carroll County School will accept the billing for the semesters and fees. And this is an annual agreement that's been in place for a good while, and we would recommend this be placed on the consent agenda for Thursday. No.
Very good. Anybody, everybody good with putting that on the consent agenda?
I
Very-
was just amazed that they would take up the cost for those books.
That's tremendous, yeah. Okay, very good. Anything else, Ms. Shirley? Okay, very good report. Now we'll come back to Dr. Jessica Ainsworth for stakeholder engagement.
Sure, the first agenda item is opening of school. We had a great first full week of school last week, and just want to talk about multiple successes with the start of the 2025-2026 school year. Mr. Griffiths and working with personnel to make sure that our teachers were in place and supporting the human resources hiring process. Mr. Harding working with our transportation to ensure our students were routed, as well as the communication of transportation bus numbers to our students as well as our families. And then Ms. Shirley with assisting with TIP as well as our district-wide professional learning day to ensure our teachers were supported. And then also going back to Mr. Harding, commending him on acknowledging from parent feedback, as well as some of the board members had suggested additional safety communication. So Mr. Harding led some efforts around safety videos for our families as well as our students during the first couple weeks of school. Attached in e-board, you have our enrollment information, as well as at your table, you have our Day 7 enrollment report as well. That is under your agenda. An area that is on watch is our enrollment. As you can see, our enrollment on Day 7, it was 16,054 students.
This one's fine, so, yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
This is under our initial projection, so it's something that we're watching, specifically watching in the Villa Rica cluster. We're also watching our elementary enrollment and studying our birth rate trends in our area. Mr. Harding is working closely with Carrie Terry in each of our schools around our students that were no-shows, withdrawals. Also a pattern around new construction. We're not seeing as many families moving into new construction with children, but monitoring that. We will continue to study our enrollment numbers. I'll continue to update you through my Friday information that I send by email, and we will move towards our October FTE, which then coincides with our master planning and our December board advance. I'll continue to update you on the enrollment, but this is an area to watch. Be happy to answer any questions.
I'd like to make a comment. My comment is this. Many parents are having a difficult time paying rent. I mean, the rent cost in Villa Rica has escalated to the point that some families are getting together to live and try to survive. And I see these people at the food bank, and also, you know, my comment to many of them, if they have children with them, where is that child enrolled in school? And a number of them are saying, we're having to homeschool.
And that's very interesting that you said that, Dr. Brooks. That is a trend Ms. Shirley and Ms. Carrie Terry have been studying, as the homeschooling population has grown, and studying the rent prices as well in Villa Rica, that many of the families are saying that it's just gotten so expensive.
So we just continue to, you know, encourage them. Let me ask this question. I was approached about vouchers for are those people who are homeschooling, can they get the state voucher?
So we do have the Promise Scholarship in the state of Georgia. If
Okay.
a student is enrolled for 2 of the, what's called FTE counts, they're
Mhm.
able to withdraw and receive the Promise School Scholarship funds if they're part of a school that's been identified. And I can share additional information with you about that if you'd like.
Okay.
Is that the list that Bowden High School was on a year or so ago?
Yes, sir.
Everybody got all of it on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good stuff.
Okay, the next item is the superintendent transition update. We are officially in the 48th day of the transition. Early efforts have centered on listening, learning, building relationships. Some highlights since the last board meeting. We had teacher induction, kickoff meetings with transportation, food, nutrition, convocation, district-wide professional learning day. I shared with you guys our open houses as well as our back-to-school parent newsletter and video, as well as successes with our first day of school and first week of school. As we move into the next month, you'll see additional one-on-ones with our mayors of our cities. We'll be conducting principal and cabinet member pre-conferences as part of their evaluation process, additional school visits, and you'll see continued small group feedback sessions. Attached to the e-board is the entry plan I've previously provided, as well as an August update regarding the transition plan, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Questions? We did really wonder a couple things. The rumor got out there that some of you guys were cloned because it seemed like y'all were in multiple places on those first days. It was, I heard, all joking aside, I heard tremendous comments about all of you all being out in the schools and how uplifting it was and excited. So I know that was no easy effort, but I know it was much appreciated.
A lot to be proud of.
I will say the air is a lot thinner in the county school system now than it used to be. Not as thick, you know what I mean? People feel like a new day.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right.
That concludes my update, Mr. Miller.
Okay, very, very good. And that'll take us to Mr. Glenn Harding for organizational excellence.
Thank you, Chair. I'll start out by giving an update on our annual safety summit that we had in July. I cannot believe that was year 15. We started this 15 years ago, and I think we were the only one in the state doing it at the time. There's others doing it now, but it was a great opportunity, as always, for a lot of tabletop discussion and really just getting all, preparing for something like this is not necessarily fun, and you hope you never have to put those skills and trainings to action, but at the same time, you can't afford not to prepare for it. So one of the things that we did a lot more of this year is we gave each school a time to meet with just their team at their school to do a deeper dive into looking at their plan, going through holes they may have in their plan, and just talking through while you had, all the resources in one room. So that was a big hit for the schools. But again, that was all Carroll County schools and the city of Carrollton also attended with us this year as well. So just want to take an opportunity to thank the many people, Tim Driven, the main organizer, but there were so many people behind him in our department and other departments to make sure that day was a success. So any question, and I will tell you, I know you've seen this on Dr. Ainsworth's Friday email, but we currently are 2 short Temple PD resource officers right now, and they're in the process of trying to replace 2 of those. We got a lead on 1 right now, but I just want to make sure the board knew about that. So any questions about that or safety zone? All right. Next, potential naming of the Mountain Zion High School track. We got a letter, or actually the principal, Connie, got a letter inquiring us to look into recommending that the name of the Mountain Zion High School track be named as the former head coach Nolan Spencer Wood. And that letter is attached to e-board for just your reviewing. The next step in that process, if y'all see fit, would be putting together a committee to review that. So, Mr. Chair, I'll put that to you on that.
Okay, all right. Any discussion on that? What would be the will of the board as far as forming a committee? Tom, I'd really like to confer with you more so.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, I definitely would like to have a committee to look more into this. I did not speak with Connie and get any kind of updates prior to tonight's meeting. But I would be very interested in pursuing and seeing where we go from here and see what the community felt.
If it's okay with the rest of the board, we'll rely on Mr. Harding to get with Mr. Sizemore to work on that.
I will do that.
Okay?
Mr. Sizemore.
Thank you.
Moving to facilities, I'll try not to take too long, but there are a lot of updates. The Mountain Zion Middle School and Temple Middle School, the first two I'd like to talk about. Just overjoyed in seeing those two facilities be ready. One of our concerns was Mountain Zion Middle School cafeteria. It was prepared for opening day. We're a little short-staffed, but we had some fill-ins there, and we had there was some last minute. When I mean last minute, I don't know if Mr. Sizemore, if you even know this, but we were even working the morning of the first day of school, making sure everything was ready in that cafeteria and the kitchen. But really excited about those two projects. I've spoken to Mr. Sizemore and Ms. Morris about the principles of getting out there and doing a walk, something I'd like to do with the board moving forward when projects are done. So obviously, I mentioned those two, but anyone and everyone would be invited to do that as well if you wanted to. I'll let the board know when that is. That is Temple and Mountain Zion Middle School. Glenn Heisman's next update continued, as I said last month, the building was already down, but now we are starting to build for the footings. It should be poured the next coming weeks. Foundation walls are underway, and really just working down into the parking lot and making sure that we're prepared for that new drive and the parking there. I think there's some discussion on that later this evening, a possible need there. The only hiccup we've had, which is really a major hiccup for our kids, but in working with them, the playground was not ready when we wanted it to be ready. And we worked with that playground company to try to get that done. But at the same time, they also brought some inflatables in for the kids to play with. And I'll tell you, I talked to the assistant principal on after that day, and she said, you would have thought those kids died and went to heaven. They were ecstatic. They had a great time that day. So I'll hopefully give a better update on that playground situation as we move into next month. Temple High School, before last month, or the first day of school, that building was still, the one that we're demoing was still up. It is now down. They are now, preparing for, to build back in that area. Really just a lot of site work going on there. We were able to work with the principal, Mr. Rogers, and the grader to add additional parking in front of the school prior to school starting. So we were taking away about 43 parking spots in an already tight situation, and we were able to find a couple of areas that we could use, and we added 25 more parking spots, I believe, up front. So we talked to Mr. Rogers even earlier today, and they're in good shape and feel good about where they're at with the parking and construction. Moving next to the high school cover practice facilities. Really right now, on 4 of our 5 high schools, a lot of site work going on, kind of going in alphabetical order, Bowden, a little bit of site work and for preparation for the band to be able to go down and practice. That's being completed. do have they hit a water pipe, and they're gonna be working on that in the morning that feeds irrigation to softball. They said that they can patch that pretty quick. Going to Central, same thing as Bowden, really working hard to get all the stuff from the band field, where the cover practice facility is going, to make sure that everything's ready for the band, to make that transition. That transition to be made, I know we're shooting for next Monday on that. And then Mountain Zion, a little bit ahead of the game as far as the other 5. You know, it's down in a hole, and they are trying to get the footers dug and poured really before the rainy season, which I think we've been living rainy season. I don't know if that's going to change, but that's where we're at. They replaced the fire lines and water lines, relocated those, and got in a little bit of bad dirt on the hillside, but not more than we had planned on in the project. So that's where we're at. Mount Zion. Temple, same situation. Temple, I don't know if anyone has been out to Temple in the past 2 weeks, but if you have, I don't even know how high the hill was, but it is ground level to the rest of the school now. It's unbelievable how much dirt they moved. I think they were running some tickets of dirt that was going out. I think they said, I don't remember the time, maybe 3-day period, it was over 325 trucks of dirt that was hauled out. Incredible. So they are also moving right along. And then Villarica is on standby right now. They're using their facility area still for practice. So that one will be a little bit of a later start at Villarica High School. A couple more. We talked about this summer about some of our smaller projects, micro projects. One of them was our early learning academies. Unbelievable just to see, again, you talk about the playground at Glenn, to see those kids, but to see those kids walking into their new facility with the learning academies and just the bright, shiny, kind of new paint and all the new curriculum that they're trying to do in our early learning academies. Again, remember that was at Central Elementary, Ithaca, and Sand Hill. And I do want to remind the board, as we're working through the project, like Glenton, Hinesman, Providence, and Whitesburg, and Temple Elementary, those 4, that will be a part of phase 2, and learning academies as well. So, next, we got the middle school innovation STEM labs. If you remember, at the South CCA, you had the opportunity to go in that room, getting those kids, those high schoolers in there. I believe the high schoolers are just excited about that room. The elementary is about the inflatables. I mean, it's just new, cool, and the experience they get in there has been really good. I have not had an opportunity to get all of these, but the new STEM labs at Bay Springs, Villarica Middle, Mountain Zion Middle, and Temple Middle were ready for opening day as well. We will continue the planning process for Bowden Middle School and Central Middle School as we move into the end of the first semester and into the second semester, looking at getting those STEM labs planned out there. I know there's a lot, but I will tell you, we are steadily looking at the upcoming projects as well. Providence Elementary, we're near completion there. We look to present that to the board in September next month. And then we're also working on our final stages of Whitesburg Elementary and preparing for the check set meeting with Whitesburg. And then the other 2 projects, Temple Elementary and Villarica High School, we continue in the planning stages with those as well. So, any questions from the board on any facilities?
A lot going on.
That's a lot. All right, next, Mr. Chair, I have the field trips and fundraising requests attached to e-board. We're asking for those to be reviewed and be placed on the consent agenda for Thursday night.
Anybody got any issue with that? Okay, very good.
All right, lastly, attached to e-board is also our SRO MOAs. This is just the agreement that we have with our different entities, whether it be Carroll County Sheriff's Department, Village PD, Temple PD, Mount Zion, Whitesburg. All of them are in there attached to e-board, and we ask for that to also be put on the consent agenda for Thursday night.
Everybody good with that? No, we're always excited about that one, so yes, good.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, sir. All right, we'll move on down to financial, Mr. Lean Wolf.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. This evening, I have two information items to share. First, I have a draft of the June financial report. We are in the midst of working on all of our year-end closing procedures, and we're on schedule for those. The draft report includes each of the funds with an estimate for revenues, expenditures, and outstanding purchase orders. We have included estimates for the receivables and payables, and will continue to update those through our cutoff date with the state in September. All funds are expected to be within the board-approved expenditure budgets. For the general fund, both revenues and expenditures are expected to be within 2% of budget. And we do have our actuals for SPLOST for June. Receipts totaled $2 million, which was a 3.6% increase. The second information item I have is related to a new process that is required by House Bill 1164. At the last board advance, I shared some information about some of the new requirements related to financial oversight, and this is one of those requirements. House Bill 1164 expanded the oversight of the Georgia Department of Audits and Accounts, and one thing that is impacted is the annual audit process. So for districts like Carroll County Schools that uses a CPA firm for our annual audit, we must request approval from the Department of Audits and Accounts to continue with that. And we submitted that approval request and just received approval today to continue with that. There's a second requirement that we're continuing to study that is waived for this year but will be effective next year with the FY27 audit related to other compilation services provided by CPA firms. I'd be happy to answer questions on either of the information items.
Anything? Very good. Okay, all right, and so now we'll turn it over to Mr. Jerry Griffiths for continuous improvement.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Good evening, board. Thank you for your participation in TIP on day one. We had a great 3 days of induction with our new Carroll County teachers. We're excited about the talent they bring to our district, and we believe that our principals made some good hires this year for sure. Many of our district leaders commented on how engaged and how knowledgeable and the talent level that these teachers bring to our district. So we're excited about what they do in our schools this year. Also on September 9th, we have our first Aspiring Leaders cohort meeting of the year. This is the same cohort that was meeting last year. It will conclude mid-year this year, and you will have an opportunity to recognize and celebrate them at the January board meeting. Current report on vacancies, we have continued to have 0 teaching vacancies, which is great going into our, close to our 3rd week of school. And we have one for our paraprofessional vacancy that opened up over the weekend. But before, when I prepared this last week, I had 0 for those. I was excited to share that with you, but we do have one paraprofessional vacancy at this time. Also, as you see in e-board, there are 2 memorandum of understandings for consideration from the University of North Georgia and the University of Georgia. There are agreements to continue to place to place student interns in our schools for practicum experience. We believe these partnerships are mutually beneficial, and we recommend that both MOUs be placed on the consent agenda for Thursday night.
Everybody good with that? Very good.
The next 3 agenda items are revisions to board policies that were presented in the July work session. No public input has been received concerning the revisions. We recommend that policies GAAA, GAKA, and GAMA be placed on the consent agenda for Thursday's board meeting.
All those have been lying on the table. Is everybody good with that? Very good.
That concludes my report, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Griffiths. At this time, we come to our time of public input. Do we have anybody here that would like to address the board? Seeing none, we'll move to our possible business item here. We'll move down to the business item.
And actually, Mr. Miller, we need to go over the annual training report and the local.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I apologize.
Okay,
So attached in e-board is our FY26 local board annual training report for your review, as well as our predicted FY27 local board annual training plan. Ms. Gann has prepared both of those reports. We do have to turn those into the Georgia Department of Education, and we are requesting those be on the consent agenda for Thursday night.
is everybody good with that? Very good. Yep, we're ready for business. I'm sorry. Yep.
Okay, so this evening we do have one business item. This is a project budget amendment for Glanton Heinzman Elementary. As Mr. Harding mentioned, while we were on site for the current construction project, we ran into some bad dirt and also a water table. The bad dirt, believe it or not, was under the slab that the Glanton Heinzman Elementary School building was that we just tore down. So we were unable to do any boring under the slab and predict this bad dirt under there. And then when the boring took place near the drive, the boring did not hit the water table that there was under the dirt there. So we are requesting a budget amendment approval through a change order process of $197,707. Those 2 reports are attached from a third-party testing company, which is UES, and Mr. Harding and I would be happy to answer any questions.
Do we have any questions? If not, I would entertain a motion for this change order.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we accept the change order at the $197,207 to
We got it.
remove the soil.
We got a motion for the change order and the budget amendment. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Bart. All those, any other questions, discussion? If not, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. And that's everyone. All right, thank you so much. Now I would like to have a review of the agenda for the August 2026 board meeting. Any questions on that? Okay, if hearing none, we'll go to, well, I'll make a recommendation that the board meet in executive session to discuss the future acquisition of real estate, safety and security, personnel pending or threatened litigation, and recommendations that are exempt from disclosure under the Open Records Act.
I'll make that recommendation.
We have a recommendation, we have a second.
Second.
All in favor, please raise your right hand. That's everyone. We'll go back. a motion to adjourn executive session?
Second.
Have a motion, we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, raise your right hand. With that, I would like to ask for a recommendation that the board approve the personnel actions as presented by the superintendent.
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion.
I'll second.
Second, all in favor, raise your right hand. That's everyone. That'll bring us, before we go to board member comments, I do have one kind of, you got a piece of paper there with potential for our December board advance. If you would, there's been a change. Mark, what would be better for you, Monday or Tuesday, December the 7th or the 8th? And then we'll hand those to Lauren as we try to get ahead of things. And with that, I'll take it to board member comments. Anything?
You want us to check
But like
these?
tonight or by Thursday night or what?
You need
Yeah, Thursday's fine, I would think. Yes, ma'am.
You want us to put an X on this, or you're changing something?
So
Pick which one.
just pick which one you prefer, that's all, with a mark. All right, anything to be brought before the board? Any board member comments tonight?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I would just like to thank the board for your prayers and support during my time with my family in Ohio. It was so difficult and different that it just threw me into a transition where I had to really pray hard and do some other things. So you all helped me through along with my church family, and I am so grateful
Well,
for the board.
we'll continue to be praying, Dr. Brooks. You've been in our thoughts and prayers the whole time, so
Yeah.
we're glad you're back home.
Yeah, well, I'm sort of private with my grieving, and so that keeps me from being in the public side, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So again, thank you all, I love you, and know we're gonna have a great year.
That sounds great. Thank you. Anything else? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make that motion.
We have a motion.
Okay.
Do we have a second? All in favor, raise your right hand, and we'll consider ourselves adjourned.